Okay, question 2, MS Word mailing function. This is your mail merging question. So we'll start here with question 2a. Question 2.1 says create a data source file using the following information and save the file as question 2a. And then they give you a table there. So what you do, the easiest way to do mail merging is you just recreate that table. The best thing for you to do here would be to see if they require you to print this portrait or landscape. It's better to change the layout before we start with the question. 2.2 doesn't tell me it needs to be landscape. 2.3 doesn't tell me it needs to be landscape. So we're going to leave it portrait, and we're going to recreate that table exactly as it is there. So insert table, and we see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns and 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. And you just recreate it exactly as it is there. I will quickly type it and then cut the video to when I am done with it. Okay, once you've done typing in the information, the most important thing to remember here is you need to check at your casing. You need to type uppercase where they have it in uppercase, you need to type lowercase where they have it in lowercase, and you need to check your spacing everywhere. The spacing, the casing, and the spelling here needs to be correct. Once we're done with this, we go to instruction 2.2. It says insert your examination number and question 2a as the file name of the data source if using Microsoft Access, or in a header if Microsoft Word is used. So we're going to put in a header because we're using Microsoft Word, and it has to be your examination number, which is your ID number, and question 2a. Okay, once we're done with this one, the most important thing, as I always tell my students, is make sure you save this data source, this table or recipient list, where you can find it easily. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, going to my folder where I want to save it. Look at the name they give you, 2.3. They don't give you a name. 2.1 says save it as question 2a. So we are going to stick to the question paper and what they tell us to save it as. You don't get marked on this, it's just easier to find the question should you need it again. Okay, so mine is saved. So this one you print out and then you have to close it. Okay, so once you've closed that one, we're going to start with question 2b. Question 2b is our main letter. It says create the following main document or primary document by making use of the fonts and font size. Arial size 12, so I'm going to do that before I start anything. It's going to be Arial size 12, and in single line spacing unless otherwise indicated, so make sure your line spacing is set to single. Okay, and now we're just going to type the letter. Now before we type the letter, you need to check. If we look at that first sentence that we have to type, we see PO box, and it's surrounded by little pointy arrows like that. So if you see anything in this main document surrounded by these pointy arrows, it means this is a field. You are not going to type it in, we have to put it in. So before we do anything, we are going to link this main letter, we are going to link it to the question 2a that we did before. To do that, we go to mailings, you say select recipients, and we say use an existing list because we have already created the list. Use an existing list, and you go to where you saved your question 2a. This is why I said it's very important that you guys save it at the correct place. So there's my question 2a, and it is linked. I know it's linked because I can use the insert merge field button. This is the only thing that you want to see, is the insert merge field button. So we're going to start our letter, but instead of typing PO box, you never ever do this. Please never ever go and type PO box like that. As soon as you do that, mail merging will not work. So we're going to take that out, and what you do is if you see a field, you have to put it in. So I'm going to click on the insert merge field. It gives me my list that it gets from question 2a, and I am going to choose PO box. And then every time, okay, my line spacing is still not correct. I can see the big spaces afterwards. So I'm going to line spacing options. Always make sure your spacing after is set to 0. And again, after the word dear, I see another field. I don't type it in, I put it in. This one would be potential client. And I've got a question there that says insert heading. So let's look quickly on the next page. 2.4.1, 2.4.2. 2.4.2 says insert the headings as follows in uppercase, bold, center, and font size 18. And we're going to put that heading in there while we are there. Start right. The pregnancy program. Okay, I'm going to put in the heading, but I'm not going to make the changes yet. I'll come back to this, because if I change the font size now and I want to continue typing the rest of my letter, it is going to influence the rest of my letter. So I'll come back to it in a little bit. I'm just going to finish typing this paragraph quickly. I'll cut to where I'm done with this paragraph. Okay, once you're done with this paragraph, I can see there's another instruction. It says insert file as indicated in the instructions. So page to your instructions, and there it is, 2.4.4. It says open the document program from the student file folder and copy the paragraph 2 lines below paragraph 1. So this would be, we have to insert this new paragraph here, but we're not going to type it, we're going to copy and paste it from another document. So go to your student files folder and you look for program. That is the document we are looking for. Okay, and here is our little paragraph. Highlight the paragraph, copy, switch back to your document, and on the home tab you just click on paste. Okay, and there you go. Now we need to remember we're using font. The font we are using is supposed to be Arial, so we're just going to change it to size 12 Arial, just to make sure everything is still using Arial. We need to check our line spacing again, make sure it's single. Go to line spacing options, make sure this after is on 0, and there we go. Then we can continue with the rest of the exercise or the question. Okay, so we've still got some more typing to do, so I will switch back to you guys or cut the video until I am done with the typing. Okay, I've typed up to the last paragraph. I'm just switching back to you guys so that I can just show you. Again, after this last paragraph, to learn more, we see 2 fields again. You see contact person at contact number / email. So again, you are going to put in these fields. So we're going to put in contact person at, we're going to put in the field again, contact number / and we're going to put in email, just like that. So the big thing here to remember is these fields do not get typed in. You have to put them in, and before we can put them in, we need to link this document to our question 2A. So we're just going to go through the instructions quickly. 2.4.1 says insert your examination number and question number as a header left as follows. So again, it's insert header, edit header, nothing new here. We are going to just type it in as they give it to us. There's the header, and then the headings we had to do with these, we still have changes to do there. It said insert the heading as follows: uppercase, bold, center, font size 18. It is better to do this afterwards so that you don't influence the rest of your document. And then it says apply the hanging indent function to the first paragraph. So highlight your first paragraph, and I just want to show you there the paragraph group launcher, and we're looking for indentation. This is nothing new, you've done this in level 2, and this is a special indent, so we're going to choose special, and you're going to say hanging. And I just want to see if they give us a size. They don't give us a size, so you don't need to change that. You just click OK, and there we go. We've got our little hanging indent. And then 2.4.4 we did. It's where we had to copy this paragraph. And just to remember, you guys saw me do this. We need to change the font so that it matches the rest of the document. At the end, what you're looking for is a professional looking document. Okay. 2.4.5, change the sub paragraph heading. Teen pregnancy include. It's this one. Okay. To bold. So we need to change this one to bold. So I'm going to highlight the sentence without the double points because they did not indicate that it must be bold as well. And I'm going to make that bold. 2.4.6 says apply any bullet with 2 letter spaces to the list below the heading, teen pregnancy include, okay, and change the line spacing to 1.5. So I am going to highlight the ones that must have bullets. You go and choose any bullet you want to use. Remember, once you put in bullets, to get it neatly against the left margin again, decrease the indent. Okay, and then I'm going to keep it highlighted because we need to change the line spacing up this to 1.5. There we go, 1.5 line spacing. Okay, then 2.4.7 says insert a footnote after the word referral in the last paragraph. Okay, so you're looking for referral. There is referral. So you need to click after referral. And what we need to do then, so once you click after referral, please make sure you click where they say you must. You get a lot of marks for this. It is 3 marks. The first mark goes for if it's put in the correct position. And we need to insert a footnote. So you've got endnote there, but you've got footnote there. So click on insert footnote. And it must be made by a doctor. So it jumps to the bottom of the page. This is where you'll see your footnotes. So like I said, you will see a little mark that it puts in a little 1 to indicate this is footnote 1, and it makes the same footnote 1 symbol there. And then you type in your footnote, but we're not done. We still have instructions. It says the text on the footnote must be in bold. So highlight the text here. It must be in bold. And it must be size 10. It's already size 10 here, so I am not going to change it. Okay. And then it says apply any page border. Okay. To do a page border, you go to design. You say page borders. And they say any page border. So I'm going to use a box one. And you can go and choose one that you like. You have a little preview there showing you what it's going to look like. I am going to click OK. Okay, and then they say link this mail merge document to the data source. Do not let this confuse you. We've already done the link. The link was when we went to select recipients, use existing list. 2.4.10 says replace the existing text with the following titles within the actual merge field in italics. Okay, so we have to do them italics as well. So, and then they just show you what I said before. Do not type in the fields. We have to put them in. The only difference now is we need to make them italics. So go to each of the fields that we inserted. Okay, not everything, only the fields. And make them italics. Go. And then 2.4.11 says print this document with the actual merge fields, your primary document, and save it as question 2B. So this one you then print once you are done. Most of the marks again here, you will have a lot of marks for spelling because you need to type everything, so make sure about your spelling, and then make sure you've done all the instructions. Do not skip instructions. So I'm going to save this one, and I am again going to jump so that I save everything at the same place. This would be question 2B, the most important one. Please do not forget to print this question. Your main letter must be printed. I need to be able, or the marker needs to be able to see these fields that you put in. Now if you typed in these fields, your next question is not going to work. So the last question is the easiest and quickest one. Question 2C says change the question number in the header to question 2C. You can do this before we do the next step. So I'm going to change it in the header to question 2C. Okay. Then merge this document with the data source called question 2A to create 3 documents. Okay, so now we need to merge this one. This is the last step. So you go to mailings again, you say finish and merge, edit individual documents, and you say OK. It creates 3 pages. And now you will see you don't have the field names anymore. You have the actual information from the table that we did in question 2A. Okay, we have the information now. We don't have the fields anymore. It creates 3 letters because question 2A had 3 fields or 3 different people. Okay, so last question 2.4.14 says print only document 1 and 3 of the final merged document. So you can go to file, you can go to print, and you can say page 1, 3, and it will print only page 1 and page 3. Okay, please do not change the number of copies, because if you change this to 3, it will print these 3 pages 3 times. Okay, so only page 1 and page 3. If you have trouble with printing only certain pages, there's another way you can do it. You can click on this letter because this is the one we want. You can go to file, you can go to print, and you can say instead of printing all pages, print just the current page, and it will only print the page that you click on, which means you will need to go back, click on page 3 somewhere, go to file, go to print again, and say just current page again. Or if you really have trouble with that, don't waste too much time, print all 3 of the letters but throw the second one away, because we don't want the second one handed in. And that's that for question 2, your mail merging question. It is, as I tell my students all the time, it is, if you can do one mail merging, you can do them all. Okay, question 3, MS Word, word processing functions. It says edit the document according to the instructions indicated using Microsoft Word. Open and retrieve the document saved as strategic plan from the student file folder. So I've gone ahead and I have opened up strategic plan. And then it says insert your examination number and question number as a header left as follows. So we can start by doing that. Insert header, edit header. So it is our examination number, which is your ID number, followed by question 3. I think it's just question 3. Yeah, just question 3. We can close the header and footer once we're done. I'm going to zoom this in a bit so that it just has one page. Okay, and we start with the instructions here. It says edit the document as indicated in the instructions below. Change the font of the entire document to Bodoni NT 12 point. A quick way to select everything in the document is to press Ctrl and A on your keyboard. You can highlight everything, but it's quicker to press Ctrl and A. So we're going to change this to Bodoni. I think it's just Bodoni NT. Size 12. And then I can click somewhere else to take the highlight away. Okay. If we go on, it says change the entire document to single line spacing. So again, Control A to highlight everything. Go to your line spacing and you choose single line spacing. Next question, 3.3.3 says change the main heading to font size 36 uppercase and use any outline effect. Okay, main heading, this is size 36. We need to change it to uppercase, so use your change case button and any outline effect. Now there are some text, that's your colors, these are your effects, so any outline effect. We can choose a color just so that we can see the difference. I'm going to choose a bright orange or light orange, so any outline effect would be fine for that. Next question says, apply the subtitle style to the following headings: mission, overall goal, and goals. Okay, subtitle, so mission, and I'm going to hold in control, overall goal, and goals. So if you're holding control after selecting your first one, you can highlight more than one heading at a time, which means we can do the instruction for all three of them at once. Now these are your styles. If you keep your mouse on them for a moment, it tells you what it's called. There is your subtitle style, so choose the subtitle style, and it applies it to all three. Okay, next question. Just need to rotate my page here. It says apply a 3-point border. No, 3-point. To the 3 paragraphs. So I assume it's those paragraphs we had to apply the headings for. To the 3 paragraphs, yeah. Okay, so it's that one, and that one. We are going to apply a 3-point border around these 3 paragraphs. 3 points indicates the weight. So we're going to do a border quickly. There are your borders. It's in the Home tab next to the Paint bucket. We can do outside border, but before we do that, just go straight to borders and shading, because if we choose this border, then it is not a 3-point border. This is a 1-point border. It's a very thin line. So go to borders and shading, choose a box, choose the width to 3 points. It will apply to the paragraph, and I click OK. So there we go, 3 points border around those 3 paragraphs. Next one says center the content in the border and accept the bulleted list. It just means leave the bulleted list there as it is, and we're going to center all the text in that 3-point border. Next question says change the following headings to font size 20, double underline and bold. Okay, so let's just see there, it is goal, strategy, objective, strategies, conclusion. Okay, so it's going to be this one, and I hold in control again, this one, and we're looking for conclusion, this one. So they said it must be bold, double underline, and size 20. Make sure you apply to all 3, because if you miss one of them, you're going to lose all the marks for that question. Next question says change the heading the 4 goals to font size 16 and italics. The 4 goals, there it is, and we're going to change it to font size 16 and italics. So italics and font size 16. Then it says use the smart art graphics and create the following staggered process layout as indicated with text. Included 2 lines below the heading the 4 goals. So we are going to do it 2 lines under the 4 goals. So we're going to say insert, you're going to say smart art, and what you are looking for is a staggered process layout. So we're looking for process, basic, step down, ancient. So if you keep your mouse on them, it tells you what they are called. So we are looking, there it is, staggered process. Just choose the staggered process, say OK. Going back, okay, so this is straightforward, just typing in the information. I'll cut the video and come back when I have finished typing in the information. Okay, just a quick note, as soon as you run out of space, we've typed our 3 bullets, and if you look at the question paper, we need another one that says provide all youth with access to reproductive health care, contraceptive and preventative services. So we still need to type that one, but we have no more bullets here. So as soon as you type the last one, all you do is press enter, and it will make another bullet and add another segment to your smart art. Okay, once you are finished typing in all the information for your smart art, you can close the little window there. You don't need it again. If you ever need it again, if there's something you want to go add or something you want to go fix, just make sure you are in the design tab. Design tab will only show when you click on the smart art somewhere when it is selected. So go to Design tab, you click on Text Pane, and it will bring back that little text box. Okay, next question. It says apply the metallic scene smart art style to the graphic. So again, make sure it's selected, and what we want is a smart art style, more specifically the metallic scene. So that's a polished one. You can click on the double arrows there to see all of them. That's polished, that's inset, it's cartoon, powder, brick scene, flat scene, and you have your metallic scene. So just click to change it, and there we go. Smart art in with the smart art style applied. Okay, next one says insert a page break before the heading strategies. So that's before the heading there. Then we go insert and we put in a page break. It will push everything underneath the page break to the next page. Fix the line spacing there, make sure strategy starts on the first line. Okay, next, change the heading and paragraph of goal 1 to 3 to 3 equal columns. Okay, let's find this. Goal 1 2 3 to 3 equal columns. So only 1 2 3 to 3 equal columns with a vertical line between columns. So the easiest way to do it is to highlight from goal 1 up until the end of goal 3. We are going to layout, you're going to columns, and I'm going to say, I know it needs to be 3 columns, but we want to put that vertical line on in between. So go to more columns, choose 3 columns, switch the line on in between. It's going to show you a little preview what it's going to look like, and I click OK. Okay. Now the problem we have here, before we go any further, we need to look at where these things start, where goal 1 starts. Goal 1 is supposed to start there, so it's fine, but goal 2 is supposed to start there, and goal 3 is supposed to start there. So click in front of where it's supposed to start in column 2. You go to breaks, and we are putting in a column break. I know it looks weird as soon as you put one in, but now we have goal 2 there at the top, so we're going to do the same for goal 3. Click in front of goal 3, breaks, we're going to put in a column break to push it to the third column. Okay, next says apply full justification and hyphenation to the columns. So make sure you select all the text. We are going to put on full justification, and if I remember correctly, we need to put in hyphenation. There it is, on layout, hyphenation, and we just say automatic, and we've got hyphenation turned on. Okay, next question says find the word communities and replace it with communities in uppercase, bold and italic. So this we're going to do from the start of our document. So go to where your document starts, click in front of where it starts. On the Home tab, we are going to replace. Click on more so that we have all the options. What we're looking for is communities, and we need to replace it with communities in uppercase, and we need to apply more formatting. So this is the one we want to change. We just want to find the normal word communities and replace it with this. So click next to the replace with communities, format, font, go back to the question paper. It says uppercase, bold and italics. So we're going to choose bold and italics, and you're going to say all caps, and it gives you a little idea of what it looks like. Click on OK, you say replace all. It tells you all done. We have made 4 replacements. Okay. So as you go through your documents now, where you see the word communities, you will see it is replaced by communities in uppercase and italics now. There we have another one and another one there. Okay, you can go and do them one by one, but it's much easier to use the find and replace function. Okay, next question says insert the picture contraceptives 2 lines below the goal 4 paragraph. So let's get our position first. 2 lines below. So it's going to be there. We're going to say insert. You're going to say picture. Go to your student files folder, and we're looking for contraceptives. Insert the picture, and it puts it in. Let's see the rest of the instructions. It says change the height and width of the picture to 10 centimeters height and 16,43 wide. So again, there will be a new tab at the top for the picture. It will only show when the picture is selected, so make sure your picture is selected. The height, they said, must be 10 centimeters and the width they give as well. So before we change this, click on the little group launcher for size. Make sure you take off lock aspect ratio. The reason for this is if we try and change the height, it is going to change the width by itself because it's going to try and keep the pictures ratio. We can some of them change the height and width here. So it is 10 centimeters, so we're just going to type in 10 and 16,43 and we say OK, and there we go. The size of the picture is changed. Please make sure in your question paper or your computer, if your computer is in centimeters or inches, and make sure you use the relevant size. Then if your computer is in inches, there you can type in 10 and you can type in the cm and it will change it to inches by itself. Okay, next question says apply any picture style to the picture. Okay, so click on the picture. This will be in format. These are all your different picture styles, so you are welcome to choose any one of these styles. Any one would be fine. Don't waste too much time on this. I am going to use the drop shadow one. Okay. It says insert a page break before the heading conclusion, so we're looking for conclusion. I am not, in this case, I am not going to put in a page break, and the reason for this is because conclusion already starts on a new page. If I were to put in a page break here, it would skip a whole page. So in this case, if your conclusion was maybe there, then yes, put in a page break. But because it starts on a new page, I am not going to put in a page break. It says open the file Teen Challenges. So again, this is in your student folder. We're going to open up Teen Challenges, enable editing. Okay, and the question then asks you, it says, and copy the file 2 lines after the last paragraph of the conclusion. So highlight the information, go to copy, and 2 lines after the last line of conclusion. So there, and you are just going to say paste. And what it does is it pastes a little table. So if you take information from Excel and paste it into Word, it creates a table. So we can close the Excel, we don't need that anymore. It says change the row height of the table to 1,5 centimeters. So I'm going to select the whole table because they don't say just row 1. It says the row height. So I'm going to click that little icon that I see there to highlight the whole table. I'm going to layout, row height is there, so we're going to type in 1,5 centimeters. Okay, and it changes the row height of all the rows to 1,5 centimeters. Next question says change the font and font size of the table to Callisto MT 12 point. So again, I can highlight the whole table and I can go and change the font to Callisto MT size 12. Okay. Then it says apply any table style to the table. So this would be the design. You've got all your table styles here. So you can choose any table style that you want to use. That's up to you. I would use that one. Okay. It says change the column headings to bold, uppercase and center. So these are your column headings. They are already bold. So all I need to do is make sure they're uppercase, they are already uppercase and center. Okay. And then they are centered. Then it says apply a double outside border to the table. So I'm just going to click somewhere in the table. I am looking for borders. There's your borders. The border style, I'm going to use a double line. It changes to a little paintbrush. And I start drawing in the double border on the edge of my table. Okay. Once you're done, you can press escape on your keyboard, or you can click on border painter to cancel the paintbrush there. Next it says delete the row bullet on school property. So bullet on school property, just click in the row somewhere, go to layout, say delete, and you say delete row, and it takes out the row. Okay, next says center the table across the page. So click on your table. You are looking for cell size. In the layout tab, you're looking for cell size. There's a little group launcher, and we are going to choose the alignment on center, and you click OK, and it puts it in the center of the page. Next, what we're looking for, it says center the text vertically and left align in table except column headings. So it's not supposed to be except, it's supposed to be except. So all of these. And what we're going to do, you're going to go to layout, and they say center the text vertically. Vertically is your line up and down. So we're going to center it vertically. Then it says print the document. It should only be 3 pages. So because the smart art is a bit big, ours is making 4 pages. Let's see if we can change the size of this to a little bit smaller, so that it jumps to this page where it's supposed to be. There we go. So make sure it's supposed to be only 3 pages. Don't change the size of the picture. We did not have a fixed size for the smart art. That is why I chose to resize the smart art instead of the picture. If you resize the picture, you're going to lose the marks because it had a specific size. So once you're done, you print this question, and you are done with question 3. Okay, question 4, PowerPoint. So if we look at the question paper, your question 4, your presentations question, it says edit the presentation that will be used on how to avoid teenage pregnancy. 4.1, retrieve the document saved as avoid pregnancy from your student file folder. So let's start with that part. So I'm going to go to open, browse, I'm going to go to where mine is saved, and we are looking for avoiding pregnancy, and I just open up the presentation, enable editing to start working on it, and we read through the rest of the questions. Question 4.2 says insert a new title slide as slide 1. So we have to put in a new slide above this slide. So what we're going to do is you're going to say new slide, you're going to say title slide. At the moment it is slide 2, so you can just click and drag it to move it to slide 1. 4.3 says edit this slide now. Edit slide 1 as follows. Insert the heading avoid teenage pregnancy in uppercase. We'll look at the rest of the instructions now. Avoid. See. Okay, and what we need to do here then is it must be in bold, so make sure we change it to bold. It must be 65 points, the size of it. There's no 65 to choose from, so what you can do is you can go and type in 65 and press enter. And we also, okay, that's all we need to do for that one. 4.3.2, insert the subheading by WikiHow. Okay, so we're going to type in a subheading. And font color black, it should be black already. Right align. Okay, now it's gray, so we can change it to black by changing the font color to black and saying right align. Okay, and then we go back. Edit slide 2 as follows. Change the heading to shadow effect and font size 60. Change the heading to shadow effect, so there's our heading. So we're going to change this, we're going to give it an effect. There's a shadow effect there by font, so you're going to put in shadow effect, and they said font size 60. Okay, we go on. They say use spell check function to correct all the typing errors, so we can go to review and we can do spelling. and it's going to tell us there's a spelling mistake there, so we can say change. There's a spelling mistake there, change. This one has to be no, change. Consistently, change. Pregnancy, change. Okay, can go back to slide 2. Question paper says then change the bullets to numbering. So all you do is you highlight the text that has the bullets, go to the home tab, and that's your bullets button. The one next to it is your numbering button. So you can just go and change this to any numbering style that you want to use. They don't give us a specific one to use. Okay, 4.5 says insert a new title and content slide as slide 3. Title and content slide as slide 3. So I can click on slide 3, new slide, title and content, and okay, it puts it at the bottom. Like we did before, you can just click and drag to get it to the correct position. What we can do now, we need to type in now what will and won't result in pregnancy. So we're going to type that is in a title. Know what will and won't result in pregnancy. Okay, and this must be uppercase, bold, and font size 40. So we're going to change it to bold. It's already uppercase, and we're just going to double check the size. There has to be size 40. We go back and we've got some stuff to type there. I will cut to the end of this and then we will continue with the lesson. Okay, remember, once you finish typing all of these, check your spelling, check your casing, make sure that you have full stops at the end of the sentences like they have in the question paper, and then we can go on to 4.6. 4.6 says edit slide 4, so 1, 2, 3, that's slide 4. And it says create a 3D pie graph with the following information. So to create a pie graph, we look at these 6 little buttons we have here in the middle of the content area. The second one here is to insert a chart. So you click on insert chart and we want a pie graph. So we've got different ones to choose from here. It's a 2D one, or you're going to use a 3D one depending on what they ask. They say we must use a 3D one. So you will click on the 3D pie chart, you say OK, and what should happen now is it should open up a little Excel square there that we're going to use to type in the information. So go to the question paper, we're going to type in the headings. So in this one we are going to type contraceptive, and the next one we are going to type unintended pregnancy percentage. Unintended pregnancy and the percentage sign. Okay. Don't need to worry about making the columns wide enough and all of that. We're not going to mark the Excel part of this. We only want the result, the pie chart itself. Okay, now we just start filling in the information. Implant, injectable. So we're going to start. Bowl. Batch. Bring milk on them. Spelling mistake there. Okay, and then we fill in the numbers. You don't need to type in the percentage, you can just type in the numbers. the last one, 28. That's all you do. You type in these numbers. Once you're done with that, we can close the Excel and you have got your pie chart in. So it will update as you type the numbers into that little Excel piece there. Okay, it says make a print screen image of and edit the chart dialog box and insert your examination as a header. Okay, make a print screen, edit chart dialog box. Okay, so what they want here actually is they want a print screen of this. So before you close the Excel, make sure you press print screen, and then for the test, you will receive an answer sheet in Word that you can use. So all we want to do now is you want to paste it in Word, so you can use the paste button. Okay, so after you've pressed print screen in PowerPoint, you can go to Word, press the paste button. They ask us now, insert your examination number and question 4.6 as a header. So insert header, edit header. So it's our examination number, your ID number, followed by question 4.6. Okay. And then this is the one we would print out at the end. This just they want proof that you can use the Excel part to create the PowerPoint, to create the pie chart in PowerPoint. Okay, 4.7. Edit slide 5. Change the heading. Okay, let's go to slide 5 first. So this is. Okay, now we can close this. We don't need that anymore. Go to slide 5. And they say edit slide 5. Change the heading to types of contraceptives, and I can already see it is uppercase, types of contraceptives. Okay, go back to the question paper, and we must change it to bold and underline as well. Bold and underline. Go back to the question paper. It says open the file types from your student file, copy and paste to slide 5 and insert the following information in column 3 and 4. Okay, so we're looking for types. So let's look at this quickly. I am going to minimize my PowerPoint and Word and all of that. Go to my folder, go to my student files folder, and I can see types is a Microsoft Word file. So I'm going to open up types, and what you're going to do is you're going to click there to select the whole table there in the corner. You're going to say copy, and you're going to switch back to your PowerPoint. Click here in the contents part, and we're going to say paste, and it pastes in the table for us. And then they tell us we have some information that we are supposed to add. So I'll cut to where I have inserted all this information. This is going to go into column 3 and column 4, or column C and column D. So I'll cut to where I have them all in. Okay, so once you finish typing it, it should look something like this. And already I can see it's a problem because it does not fit onto the presentation itself. So what you can do, click on your chart, go to the edge of your chart somewhere until your mouse cursor changes to the move it so that it fits nicely. And what you can do then is just grab the edges and make your table a little bit bigger so that everything fits nicely until it looks good and professional. Okay, now next instruction says so we've done column 3 and 4. It says apply 50% shading to column 3 and bold the text. So column 1, 2, 3. So this is column 3. So 50% shading we have to do here. So table tools, design, shading. Okay. And if you keep your mouse on these, let's see the gray shading for example, you will see it gives you a value. This one would then be 50%, and we must also change the text to bold. Okay, so that is for column 3 or column C. Okay, now it says import the slide import the file slide 6 from your student file folder and edit the slide as follows. So I assume this would then be slide 6. Okay, so we go to our student files folder again. There is slide 6, so we're going to open it up. And what you do, just click on the slide and you can right click, you can say copy, okay, and you can go back to your presentation, and in the gray area here you're going to say right click and you have different paste options. The first two are the ones you need to worry about. Use destination theme or keep source formatting. Now you'll find the same things when you go here. So instead of right clicking on the gray area, you can also go to the arrow underneath paste and you can say okay, so either destination theme or source formatting. Source formatting means it will use whatever format it had, and destination is it will make sure it looks the same as this spreadsheet. So I'm going to use that one, and it puts it in as slide 6. So now we have this slide 6 from the other PowerPoint presentation we have just brought into our new one. So this one we can close, we don't need that one. Okay, and the instructions further say change the layout to title with to content and move the second bullet to the right column in slide 6. Okay, so just again, change the layout to title with to content. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, make sure you're on slide 6. Layout is going to be title and to content, so it is this one, the one that's called to content. And then it says and move the second bullet to the right column in slide 6. So this is our second bullet. Just highlight it. You can go to cut, click on the right side, just click on paste, and there we go. We've moved the bullet from the left to the right, or that whole paragraph in this instance. 4.9 says insert the heading, don't leave anything to chance. Okay, in slide 7. So we're going to slide 7. We're going to put in the heading, don't leave anything to chance. And we've got some extra instructions here. In uppercase, bold and right aligned. So we're going to bold this and we are going to right align. Okay, back to the question paper. Okay. Mine is scanned in a little bit upside down. Okay, 4.10. Edit slide 8 as follows. Apply a border to the body placeholder and change the placeholder to any auto shape. All text must be visible. So this is slide 8 then. And they say apply a border to the body placeholder. So the body placeholder would be this one. Okay, so we're going to apply a border. You can go to format. You can say shape outline. Okay, please remember I clicked on the edge of this line, shape outline, and we're going to say a nice and thick one so that we can see it. So I'm going to change the weight to 3, and there we have a little border. Okay, and what else did they ask us? They asked us to change it to any auto shape. All text must be visible, so we need to change the square into a shape. So let's see if we can change this one. Oh, okay. So this is where we do it. You click on the edge, make sure that this border is still selected, edit shape, change shape, and we can change it to something else. So you can go and choose any shape from here, and it will change it to that shape. Okay, back to the question paper. Okay, change the auto shape to 3D contrasting left. So we're not done there. So click on the shape. We are going to shape effects. We're going to say 3D rotation, and we are looking for auto shape 3D contrasting left. 3D contrasting left. Shape effects, 3D rotation. Okay, so I see the word contrasting there. So there is a contrasting left. So I can click on it, it just makes it look 3D. Back to the question paper. Change the font of the presentation to basketball and apply any design theme to the presentation. Use an appropriate design where everything is visible. So the font of the whole presentation must be changed to basketball. So that's the first thing. So the easiest way to do this would be to say Control A on your keyboard, or you can go and click on the first slide, go to the end, hold in Shift, click on the last slide. It will select all of them. That's not going to work as well. So we need to change the font of everything to basketball. If we can find basketball the first time, then it becomes easy. I just click on, there's not a lot of text, and because I chose basketball for the first one, it should be here at the top, so it's easy to go and find basketball then each time. You don't need to go search for it, only the first time. So we're going to change everything to basketball. All the headings, everything you can possibly change to basketball. Any text, go and change it to basketball. Because if this text is, if one thing does not have the basketball alt face, it is going to affect your, you're going to lose that mark, because everything has to be basketball. Same with that. Try not to take too long with this. Just change everything to basketball. Don't need to worry about the size. Like I said, just change the font to basketball. Last slide. Now, as soon as you work inside of this slide, you will see that it changes a bit. It allows you to type inside, because it can be difficult to type when it looks 3D like that. Okay, then they say insert a footer aligned as follows on the handout page. Okay, and they give us examination number and question 4. So we're going to go insert. You're going to say header and footer, and we look for handouts. It has to be on the handouts page. You type tick footer and you type in your examination number. It's going to go back there, and next to it you type question question 4, and you say apply to all. This will then, when we print as handouts, it will print on the handout. Okay, and then last thing, they say save and print the presentation as handouts with 4 slides per page. Please make sure that you know how to print as handouts. That you go to File, you go to Print, there where it says full page slides, you will change it. So we're looking for handouts, and they said 4 slides per page. So click on the 4 slides per page, and there you go. It will print 2 pages with 4 slides per page. We also have our footer inserted. You can see it here now. And that's all for question 4. Question 5. Question 5a is your Excel question. Question 5a says prepare the spreadsheet by using a spreadsheet to look at the factors that contribute to teenage pregnancy. Question 5a, open and retrieve the document saved as question 5 from your student files folder or whichever drive is used, and save it as question 5a. So we have to save this one as question 5a. That's your first step. So you go to File, you go to Save As, and you go to where you save your files. Yours is going to be in My Documents. Mine is a little bit different. So we are going to save this as question 5a. You say save. Please make sure you say save as and not save. As soon as you say save as, it allows us to make a copy, so we still have the original question 5 if we make a mistake. Question 5.1.1 says insert your examination number and question number as a header left aligned of the spreadsheet as follows. And we see it's our examination number, question 5A, and this must be on the left. Now there are two ways to do a header. As you can see, when I open up the spreadsheet, it has place for a header here, but I don't like working like this, and I would advise you guys not to work like this as well. Go to view and change your view to normal. Okay, so that you have a full page to work with that's not broken up. And then to do a header, you just go to insert, header and footer, that's okay, and it will change it back to this. So you put in your ID number followed by question 5A, and then we can just change the view back to normal so that it's easier to work with. Okay, back to the question paper. It says change the font of the entire spreadsheet to Comic Sans size 12. So to highlight everything safely, click here in the corner where your column headings and row headings come together, and we are going to change this to Comic Sans, and it has to be size 12. So when I click here in the corner, it highlights everything. Okay. 5.1.3, change the heading to bold, underline and 20 points. This is your heading, so it must be bold, underline and size 20. 5.1.4 says insert 3 open rows after the heading. So there's my heading. I need 3 open rows, so I am going to click on the row 3 because when I put in a new row, it puts it on top of where I click. So all you want to do is we want to add new rows. Now on your home tab, there's your button. Because I clicked on the row number, the computer will, or Excel will already know that I want to put in a row. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've put in 3 extra rows. Okay, 5.1.5 says change the row height of rows to 19.5 or 26 pixels. Now they don't tell me which rows. This is a problem. So if this happens in an exam, they cannot penalize you for this because they did not specify which rows. Let's skip this question for now. We'll come back to it in a little bit. 5.1.6 says insert the following text: total, total, total. And again, they don't tell me where to insert this text. Okay, so let's just look at the spreadsheet. So these are 3 rows. It might be the 3 new rows that we inserted. So we can put them in here. Okay, we've got the information in, and while I'm looking at this, I assume that that row height we had to change were for these rows. So if you grab these rows on the edge, if you grab it and you start dragging up and down, okay, there's row 2 now at the bottom of the row, you can see the height, and they asked us to change it to 26 pixels. So make sure that these are all on 26 pixels. I think the reason they ask us to change this is because if you click there and we insert the new rows, they're going to be quite big. They're going to be as big as that row. So, but because I did it the other way by clicking on row 3, it kept that 26 pixels. So always just double check that your row height is correct. Okay, we've typed in the information. Next instruction says merge and center the cells B5 to E5. So B5 to E5. We have to merge and center the cells. B5 to E5. Insert the text provinces in uppercase and italics. You see, this is where the problem is. So I am just going to move these to there, so that we have a row open here. B5 to E5, this is what we have to merge and center. So all I did is I typed these 3 new sentences at the wrong place. I should have started in row 2 instead of row 3. So I've merged this one, and I need to type in provinces in uppercase and italics. Provinces, and it must be italics. Okay, insert borders with functions you are familiar with. Double outside border A6 to F15. So let's just check this quickly. A6 to F15. So from A6 up until F15, and they say insert double borders. Okay, so there are many ways to do borders. We can see them here, or you can choose them here and it will put a border outside of where we click. But I am going to say, yeah, let's do this. See, there's not a top one, so I'm going to say draw border. Line style, I can choose a double border, and I can go and draw in my double border. Just make sure you cover the correct area. Okay, so I've got double borders all around. Next one says a single inside border, A8 to F15, A8, so A8 to F15. Okay, so it's from here. So again, I'm going to choose my line style, single border, it's A8. Single inside border. Okay, so it has a double border around and a single border inside. So what you can do, just go and draw your borders. Something like that. Okay, so there's many different ways to do borders. You can draw them, or you can put them in using the other method. That's an A8. Okay. So I might have made a mistake. If you make a mistake, choose the eraser and take out the borders that are not supposed to be there, and just go and choose your line styles again and go and draw them in. I just want to make sure that when I draw these borders, I only draw in the areas they ask me to. Like that, and I'm missing a double border there. There we go. Okay. If you want your pen gone, you can just press escape on your keyboard. It will cancel the pen. Okay, we go on. It says display the values as a number with 1 decimal. So back to Excel. Highlight all the numbers we have. Okay, all the numbers we have. And we're going to change them to 1 decimal. Just like that. Okay, so that one decreases decimals. That one gives us more decimals or less decimals. So the numbers are now a number with 1 decimal. Center align column A. So this is column A, whole column A, and we are going to center align column A. Okay, let's go back. Change the column headings to center, bold, and 14 points. So these are our column headings, including that one. Center, bold, and size 14, and there's one more instruction that says apply a dark color shade. So the paint bucket is your shading, so just any dark color would be fine. Okay, I am going to start adjusting these columns because I can see the text does not fit the way it should, just so that everything fits neatly. Okay, Next instruction says insert the image saved as teen fact from your student files folder on whichever drives you and paste it in cell C2 to E4. Let's just check this, C2 to E4. So we have to put in a little picture there. So what you're going to do is you're going to go insert, you're going to go pictures, and you are going to go to your student files folder, and the one we are looking for is the one called teen fact. Okay, so teen fact, insert. Picture's going to be a little bit too big, so what we're going to do is just change the size of our picture by using the corners, and we're going to have to stretch this thing a little bit because it has to go from C2 to E4. Okay, next instruction. Apply a suitable border or any picture style to the image. So it just means you can do anything to this picture. Just click on it, you'll get a new picture tools here. You can do picture border, change the weight, the thickness of the line. Just something simple that doesn't take a lot of time. Please don't waste time on these instructions. Don't have them take too long. Okay, border is fine like that. Next instruction says adjust column widths when necessary to ensure that all data is clearly displayed. Save and print the spreadsheet on a landscape orientation. So last thing we have to do is page layout, orientation, and landscape. It is already on landscape when we open it up. Please make sure your whole spreadsheet fits into this dashed line part here, because if it goes over the dashed line, it is going to go to page 2. And then we are done with question 5a. Question 5b says open, retrieve the document saved as question 5a. We still have it here. It's this one. And then they say immediately save it as question 5b. The reason for this is they don't want you to mess up your question if you need to go back to it or print it or something. So we're going to save it as question 5b. It means we will have a copy of this one now. Now you have a question 5a and you have a question 5b. Okay, next instruction says change the question number to question 5b in the header. So you can just go to insert, header and footer again, and change that to question 5b. Okay. So we have to change in the header question 5a to question 5b. We've done that, and then they say insert the following footer left aligned as follows, as perceived by service providers. So you go to the footer, which would be at the bottom, as perceived by service providers, just like that. Okay, once we're done, I want to fix the view again. Like I said, I don't like working like this, so please go to view and you say normal, just to make it easier to work with. Next instruction says find the word gratification and replace with satisfaction in sentence case. Sentence case means the first letter is capital letters. So gratification, there it is, and we need to replace this with satisfaction. So just take it out and replace it with the word satisfaction. There is a function to find and replace words, but it only appears once, so we don't need to use the function. Okay. Next one, sort column A in ascending order according to factors. Sort column A in ascending order according to factors. So we have to sort column A. So when you sort, please make sure you highlight all the information next to it. Otherwise, you are just going to sort the first column and the numbers are then not going to correspond to the items or the factors. So we go to the Home tab, you say sort and filter, and it's ascending order, so you say sort A to Z, and it will put it in alphabetical order there along with the information next to it. Next one says use the formula to calculate the total factor for provinces in F8. So you need to do F8 and we need to calculate the total. Okay, and the total is going to be straightforward, equals sum, open bracket, highlight the numbers you want to add together, close the bracket, press enter. Once you have the answer, go to the corner, click and drag down, and it will put in the formula for all of them. Just be very careful when we click and drag, it messes up our borders, so we might have to go back afterwards and just fix these borders. But borders are not going to be marked in your second question, they were part of your first question, so they will not penalize you if your borders go wrong in the second question. Okay, then they say use the autofill handle to copy the formulas from F9 to F15. This is what we've done now. So autofill is that little square at the corner. Your mouse changes to a black plus like that, so you just click and drag and it will autofill. Okay, next it says use a function in B16 to calculate the total factors per province. So B16, okay, and we are going to calculate the total factors per province. Again, this is just sum, open bracket, highlight all the numbers, close the bracket, enter. It says use the autofill handle to copy the formulas from C16 to F16. So again, you're going to grab it in the corner and you're going to drag it all the way to F16. Okay, just like that. Okay, then it says, going to the next instruction, just want to rotate the page again. Use a formula in B17 to determine the highest number in the Eastern Cape. Okay, so this is B17, the highest number in Eastern Cape. So if you see the word highest, your formula will be max. Okay, and this is for the Eastern Cape, so just highlight all the numbers, max, open bracket, highlight the numbers, close the bracket, and what this will do is it will just give you the number 60 because that is the highest number in the range that you highlighted. Okay. Next one says use a formula in E18 to determine the average number in Limpopo. Okay, so this will now be in E18. So E18, and we type in equals average, open bracket, and what do they want? They want average number in Limpopo. So average, open bracket, highlight all the numbers for Limpopo, close the bracket, and it will calculate an average there for you. Okay, next one says calculate the percentage of total per province as follows in D19 and E19. Use absolute cell references. So D19 and E19. Let's go to the correct place first. D19 and E19. So it says calculate the percentage of total per province as follows in D19 and E19. Use absolute cell reference. It says calculate the percentage of total per province as follows in D19 and E19. Use absolute cell references. So this is the total we had for Gauteng, this is the total we had for Limpopo, but this is the big total we have. So we need to calculate this as a percentage of the big total, that one as a percentage of the big total. So your formula works as follows. This is like calculating for a math test. If I tell you you got 163 out of 701, you would take 163 divided by 701 and multiply by 100. So your formula would look something like that if you had to calculate a percentage. But because we're using Excel, so you click on your total for Gauteng divided by the big total, and we have two totals that we're going to use here and only one big total. So if you have a singular number like this, F4 or function 4 on your keyboard to make it an absolute cell, it has to look like that. Enter to get the answer and autofill. So absolute cell works like this. It just means if I autofill, the colors are going to move. We don't want the red one to move, only the blue one to move. So after you've clicked on the red one, you press F4 to make it an absolute cell. And if we look at the formulas now, the blue one moved and the red one stayed on the big total. Next instruction says display numbers as number with one decimal and percentage of total. Okay, so we've done that one decimal one before. The new one that we calculated, the new answers, percentage of total as a percentage with no decimals. So everything else must be a number with one decimal. So we're going to take these, we're going to change them to a percentage with no decimals, just like that. Okay, and then it says adjust the column so all the data is clearly displayed. Save and print the spreadsheet on landscape orientation. Again, make sure everything fits inside of the dashed lines. Okay, last question for Excel. It says open and retrieve the document saved as question 5B. We have it still open. Save the spreadsheet immediately as question 5C. So file, save as, go to where you save your files and save it now as question 5C. Again, we are making a copy of this question so that we still have our original. We still have question 5B, but this one in front of us now is question 5C. And the instruction says display the formula. So this is easy to do. You go to formulas and we just say show formulas. Okay. Be very careful when you do this. It takes up a lot of space. So adjust the columns as needed. Don't worry too much about making all the texts fit. The only thing we want to see that has to fit is our formulas themselves. That's the most important. No formula must be cut off. Now I still have a problem. This does not fit even on landscape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make column A less than that. Like I said, it doesn't need to fit there. I don't care too much about that. I'm going to change the picture because the picture was already marked, or it was an instruction for the first question. So you're not going to get penalized for that. Just make sure all your formulas display without being cut off. Okay, it then says change the question number in the footer. They actually mean header. We did the question number in the header, not the footer. So again, insert header and footer. You are going to change this to question 5C. You're going to go to view and we're going to say normal again. Okay. Make sure your formulas fit neatly onto the page. Like I said, I don't care about the information in column A now. And then it says save and print the documents with row and column heading. So in other words, when we print, they want to see this A, B, C, D, E, F, and they want to see 1, 2, 3. This is easy to switch on. Just go to page layout. There is your headings. You just tick the box for print, and when you print, they will print. Let's just take a look at it. File, print, and if you look at the print preview, it does fit. We still have a problem. It goes over 2 pages. Okay, so you can still go and adjust column A, make it smaller so that it fits on 1 page. Otherwise, when you print, just throw away the second page. It's not needed. It has no information. Okay, and that's that for question 5. Okay, question 6, information and communication using Internet Explorer. This question paper is a little bit outdated because we don't use Internet Explorer anymore, but we'll do the most what we can with this question. It says open the document saved as question 6 from a student files folder on whichever storage device to record the answers of the following questions. Insert your examination number as a header. So I went and opened up question 6. It looks like this. So just go into the header and replace that with your examination number. Okay, and these spaces we're going to use to paste in print screens of our answers or to type in answers. So if we go back to the question paper, it says you want to change the standard view of the internet to full screen mode. Explain. So this is not a print screen, it's a theory question. Explain in steps how you would change the screen to full screen mode. Now this depends. If this is your Internet Explorer, there are many ways to do it. We're just going to do one. So if it looks like this standard, there's a button at the top right that says maximize and you've got full screen. So you can type that into your answer that we have here. You can say click on the maximize button found at the top right of the Internet Explorer window. And there we go. Okay, it's easy as that. Then it says icons can be added or removed from the command bar. Demonstrate how you would add or remove icons by making use of a print screen to indicate the steps and paste it in the answer sheet. Now again, this depends on what browser you are using. We don't have Internet Explorer anymore, we have Microsoft Edge at the moment. So they're talking about the command bar is here at the top. So they want to know how can we add icons there. There are many ways to do it. You can right click, you can say add folder to add icons there, to add shortcuts, you can add favorites there. So it really depends on the browser that you are using. There are many different ways to add icons to the top there. So for example, this one I can click and I can drag to add the icon there to the top. So I can keep my mouse there, press print screen and move it back because I don't really want to make one. I just want proof that I can add icons to the top. So I press print screen, I can go to Word, I can say paste, and there we go. You can see that I have tried to add an icon there, so there is proof that we can add an icon. Like I said, it depends on the browser you are using. Okay, back to the question paper. 6.4, you need to save images displayed on a web page. Explain the steps how you would save the image. Now, most of the Internet Explorer things work the same. If you want to save an image, let's say for example that image there, I can right click and I can say okay, let's do this. Let's search for computer images. Okay, you can change it to images there. Most of the internet browsers will look the same. Let's say there's a picture that you want to use. Right click on the picture and you say copy image, or you say save image as. And then if you say copy image, you go into Word and you paste. If you say save image as, it will save it to somewhere on your hard drive. So to answer the question, just to make sure they don't want print screens, what they want is the steps. Explain the steps how you would save the image. So the first thing is you would search for an image you want to use. Right click on image, copy image. If you want to use it in a Word document, or save image if you want to save it to your computer. Okay, and you can add here for the first one, you can add paste in Word if we are going to use Word. Or then for this one you can say go to insert and then picture to use the picture, and then find your saved image. Okay, so two ways we can copy the image straight from the internet and paste it into Word, or you can save the image and then use insert picture and then find your saved image. Okay, 6.4. 6.5 says study the following image. 6.5.1 says identify the internet term that changes the mouse pointer to a hand that indicates this particular piece of text or image. So if you look at the image, this there, if we look at any internet thing, if I move my mouse onto any one of these pictures, it turns to a little hand, and the term is called hyperlink. That is what the term is called. 6.5.2, this just then asks us define the term identified in question 6.5.1. So explain what it does. So hyperlink, if it changes to a little hand, it means it will take us to that specific destination. On click, it would take you to different destination or web page. Okay, so question 6 is just your internet questions. It's just a small, it's a quick question to do. It's extra marks. It doesn't count the most marks of the test, but it is some extra marks. So that's that for question 6. Okay, question 7. Basic concepts of computers or file management. It says open the document saved as question 7 from the student files folder and insert your examination number, and there it is. So you open up your question 7 and again just replace the words examination number with your ID number. And we start with the questions. It says, when creating a PDF file, you can set various security options. Open question 7 and before resaving the file as a PDF file, indicate how you would protect the document. Demonstrate how this option can be created by making use of a print screen and paste it in the answer sheet. Okay, so they want us to save a copy of this as a PDF, but they want us to show them how to protect the file. So what you can do is you can go to File, you can say Protect Document, and then you can say Encrypt with Password. Okay, and you can type in a password. Just remember the password that you use. You don't even need to go through all these steps because they don't ask us to go through all these steps. Just type in a password, press print screen, and we can cancel so that we don't really create the password. Go back, and they say now demonstrate how this option can be created by making use of a print screen and paste it in the answer sheet. Okay, so we're gonna go inside here and you're going to say paste, and there is your print screen. This is password protection. Another way to protect a document, like they said, is we can save it as a PDF, and if it's saved as a PDF, no one can mess around with the file. So to do this, you go to File, you go to Save As, you go and choose where you want to save your document, and when typing in a name, you can change the file type. At the moment it's a Word document, it's always a Word document. You can change it to a PDF. Okay, so you can print screen this as well if they wanted you to show proof that you can make a PDF. Okay, so that's another way of protecting a file. Then they say locate the student file folder and compress the files into a folder and save it as ODP Level 3. So it just means go to your student files folder. Okay, there's your student files folder. Right click on it, you say send to, and you say compressed zip folder. Okay, I'm going to print screen that as proof. Okay, and it makes a little compressed folder there. Let's just go back to the questions. They want a save it as ODP Level 3. Okay, so I skipped that step. So I'm going to delete that one. So right click and you say send to, and you say compressed zip folder, and just make sure it's called ODP Level 3, and you can print screen this. There is proof then that you can zip a folder. Go back to your Word document, in the space provided, put the print screen. There's our proof. Don't worry if this goes over 2 or 3 pages, that's fine, as long as you paste your answers in the correct blocks. I will show you how to make this a little bit smaller so that it doesn't take up as much space. Next question. It says use the help and support function to search for information on how to back up your files, copy and paste the information. So with Windows you can click on the Start menu, you can just start typing back up your files, and it shows you internet results or search from the web, and you can just click on one of them, back up your files. Okay, and just take the first thing that you see, the first paragraph, highlight it, right click, copy, go to your Word document, go to the space provided and paste. Okay, and there's the whole explanation. They don't want a print screen, they want you to copy and paste the information. Okay, next question says create a new folder called Prevention Teen Pregnancy. Copy the files from the student file folder. Okay, create a text document. Yeah, okay, so what we're going to do is in your documents, you're going to create a new folder called Teen Pregnancy. Okay, that's all you do. Okay, so a prevention teen pregnancy. Sorry, my mistake. Just gonna rename this one Prevention Teen Pregnancy. Okay, and they say copy the files from the student files folder. They don't tell me which files, so I assume it's all of them. Go into your student files folder, highlight all the files. There are buttons at the top you can use, or you can use the right click and you can say copy, go back, go to your Prevention Teen Pregnancy folder, go inside of it, make sure inside of it, right click and paste, and you have a copy of the files. Now we have the files inside the student files folder and our new folder. We have the files. Okay, next question says create a text document called Prevention in the Prevention Teen Pregnancy folder. So a text document called Prevention. Go to your Teen Pregnancy folder, any white space, right click, new, and you say text document, and we double check what it must be called. It must be called Prevention. So I can right click and say rename, and I can type in Prevention. There is our text document. Now next thing we need to do is delete the folder Teen Pregnancy and make a, okay, before that we need to make a print screen image. So go, make sure you're inside your Prevention Teen Pregnancy folder, print screen, go to Word, paste your print screen in the space provided, go back to the instructions. It says now delete the folder Prevention Teen Pregnancy and make a print screen image of the recycle bin displaying the deleted folder. So what you go and do, there's your Teen Pregnancy folder on your keyboard, just press delete and it takes it away. And then on your desktop you should have your recycle bin. So open up your recycle bin, there's our folder, print screen, go back to your Word document and in the space provided paste your print screen. And there we go. That is your whole question 7. Then you just print it. Now if you want to make it look neater, you don't need to do this. You can click on any image that you print screened, right click on it and you say crop, and you take the edges up and only show the information that you are supposed to show. Press enter to accept. Okay, same with this. I don't need all this. I can crop just so that I show the important information. The important information here is the location and the stuff you were supposed to do. That was information, that was not a print screen. I'm going to crop this one again, and then this one I'm going to crop. This was the recycle bin. So all they need to see here is that we're in the recycle bin and there's our folder that we deleted. And that's that for question 7.